Hello everyone, I'm Bruffy1322 and this video will showcase the lap times, top speeds and race tiers of all the day 1 cars from the GTA 5 Money Fronts update. If you want to see how all vehicles from all classes perform, check the brand new for 2024 testing videos in the playlist linked in the description, and be sure to subscribe to stay up to date on future testing of new vehicles added to GTA 5 and beyond. So this is the DLC of big top speeds, even for non-HSW cars, starting with the Tampa GT. Now, I like the Tampa GT. It doesn't have much grip, so it's really slow in the corners and it takes an age to slow down when braking. It's only got 4 gears when it's fully upgraded, and it takes ages to change between those due to low upshift and downshift rate values, but all of that makes it a really interesting driving experience with a bit of character to the car. Rather than just being another grippy sports car like everything else we've seen recently, it really feels like a proper old school muscle car, and that's quite refreshing. It does get a lap time that's over 1 second slower than the regular Tampa though, so maybe Tampa Classic would have been a better name than the Tampa GT. It does have one of the highest top speeds for a non-HSW muscle car though, it just takes a while to get there. The Woodlander on the other hand has a very low top speed even for an SUV. It can feel quite grippy and it could do with some more power, which the HSW upgrade will give it, as we'll see later in the video, but you can also feel the weighty back end of the vehicle, which again, it makes it an interesting driving experience and gives it a bit of a unique feel. It's definitely improvement with the batch of vehicles in this DLC on that front, with unique feeling cars in comparison to, say, the last DLC where it was all grip stuff. Now, the HSW upgrade for the Tampa gives it one of the highest top speeds for any muscle car full stop, sitting in 3rd place behind the 2 Vigero ZXs, only just as well. Obviously that does allow the car to go a little bit quicker for lap time as well, but it's consistently limited by its lack of grip, which doesn't get any improvement with HSW, so you're braking even earlier and going just as slow around the corners as you do with the regular Tampa GT. But again, that does provide an interesting and challenging driving experience, and 155 mph for its top speed is very fast. Now the Hardy, this also has a really high top speed, the top of the sedans class and the top of tuners as well, because you can use this in both. It really struggles in the corners in what is again another fairly unique car to drive. This is almost like an HSW car in disguise for the sedans class. Obviously that the sedans class doesn't get any actual HSW cars. That big top speed that it has is significantly quicker than anything else in the sedans class, but it's just held back too much by its poor cornering ability, so it drops into the 2nd tier for sedans. Getting straight into the top tier for sedans though is the Minimus, although only just. It's got a very average top speed for sedans, but it's also more like a classic sedan class car with middling top speed and very good grip. That 104.9 lap time it gets puts it 2/10 behind the top cars in the class, although I think the Minimus will struggle in most cases unless you can sort of abuse some curbs to raise that top speed. Nevertheless, that now makes 7 cars at the top of sedans, all separated by just 0.4 of a second. That is crazy good balance, and it's great to see new cars complement the top of a class rather than destroy it, which, to be fair, we also had a few DLCs ago, but we took a bit of a misstep in the last DLC, so it's good to see some balance come back with that. Speaking of, the Everin RS. Now, it's a little bit weird because it doesn't feel like it should get such a good lap time. It's quite clumsy to get around the corners, a little bit understeery, but it has a really good top speed for a non-HSW SUV, and it's got great acceleration for an SUV as well. That allows it to get that lap time on the acceleration zones out of corners, even if it's not as grippy in the corners. And yeah, it's right up there with the top tier of SUVs, just a 0.4 behind the top spot. Something that's even closer to the top spot of SUVs is the Woodlander HSW. Get a significant improvement with the HSW upgrade for this. It sits in 2nd place for top speed and 4th for lap time, 2/10 away from the top spot, with the top tier of SUVs now having 6 cars separated by half a second, 3 of which are HSW and 3 non-HSW. If sedans is a perfect example of great balance at the top of a class that's not ruined by HSW cars, SUVs is a great example of balance with a mix of HSW and non-HSW. Next up, we've got the police bike, and it's back on top in the emergency class. The original unupgradable 2013 version used to be at the top spot for the class before we got the new breed of police cars that dethroned it, but now the 2025 version of the police bike is back at the top spot. It is different to the original version. It's got performance upgrades and other visual modifications, and it really likes to wheelie as well, so wheeling with the back end of it catches on the road like with the Reaver and the original Faggio, and allows it to boost to just very high top speeds, it wouldn't get those speeds naturally. So because of that, it is one of the fastest land vehicles in the game in a straight line with that crazy top speed, and almost 25 mph quicker than the next best thing in the emergency class of the Coquette D10 Pursuit, although for lap time they're actually very closely matched, not that you can race with them anyway. Now the Sentinel GTS, this swaps between power rod understeer and liftoff oversteer, but when you adjust to it, it's a competent sports car. It's nothing special, but quick enough to just scrape into the bottom of the C tier alongside things like the Paragon R, Jugular and Comet SR. It will be a little outmatched most of the time, but that big top speed of 132 mph that it has will definitely help in comparison to some of those cars, and its top speed makes it too quick for the D tier of sports. And it's the exact same story with the Rapid GTX. It's got the exact same top speed, puts it into the top 10 for the sports class, along with a better lap time. It kind of reminds me of the Spectre, this car. It looks just like the Spectre, it drives just like the Spectre, it's just a few seconds per lap quicker. Unlike the Sentinel, it's pretty well planted and quite well balanced, just like a Spectre. It's also in the C tier, and it's just a better all-round option for that tier than the Sentinel, but they are close enough to be able to be raced side by side. And our final vehicle for the DLC, it's the standard electric car of the Suzumi. It's very understeery when applying the throttle because it's an electric car. It's got a decent enough lap time that puts it in the C tier for supers, a relatively decent top speed for a non-HSW electric supercar, but it's probably the least interesting car of all of them in this DLC. It's just your bog standard supercar that doesn't really have anything going with it, but a 59-second lap time is very quick, but it just goes along the list of all the other supercars that get a 59-second lap time these days. Nothing too special. And because of that, our side-by-side comparisons aren't going to focus on the sports or supercars at all. They're going to focus on some of the more interesting cars from this DLC, specifically one and now have put themselves towards the top of the SUVs class. And this kind of shows sort of where each car is strong. The Woodlander does have better grip and better top speed, but the Everon has really good acceleration, especially for quite a while up into the sort of the mid-range of the car. And it really does well to sort of get that lap time because of that good acceleration. But ultimately their lap times are very close, and it raises the question once again of why are we putting HSW on new cars? When HSW was first released, it was on a bunch of old cars like the Banshee, the Sterling GT, the Turismo Classic, and it made them a lot more fun, and it brought older, slower cars like the Banshee, for example, into relevancy, being one of the quickest cars in the sports class. Whereas now, we just get HSW on new cars, and it seems completely unnecessary. If you can make an Everon RS, which doesn't have HSW, get basically the same lap time as a Woodlander, you can just program the Woodlander to go this fast anyway. Naturally, you don't need an HSW upgrade to make it go this fast. So yeah, it's just showing once again, as we see a comparison between the top two now HSW cars in the muscle class for top speed at least, the difference here being that the Vigero ZX is also in the top spot for lap time, whereas the Tampa GT very much isn't because of its bad cornering ability. But yeah, just showing once again, it's good that we've got some great balance in the classes, and I'm really happy to see that this time. But yeah, just it's such a shame, such a wasted opportunity to not have HSW on old cars. But that's everything for this video. Please consider supporting on Patreon or become a YouTube member if you want to support this work and get some extra perks for doing so, such as early access to videos and other testing results. Also remember to read the description for more info, comment with your thoughts, like the video if you enjoyed or found it helpful, and subscribe for more. As always, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.